Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us. The spin masters, the negative ad peddlers, who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states. Red states for Republicans, blue states for Democrats. But I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states, and we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states.
All right, guys. So in 2024, nobody should be surprised when they hear a Democrat or the Democrat Party in general claim that racism is on the ballot. Okay, that depending on how you vote, that could determine whether or not racism continues in this country. And when Democrats say that, they're actually right. They're correct. That depending on how you vote could determine whether or not racism continues in this country. What Democrats are wrong about is in regards to how you vote if you actually want to stop racism, because the Democrat Party is the party of racism, and they show you this every chance that they get, that they are in fact a racist party, which is no surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, because the roots of their party has been racism. I mean, again, the foundings of the Democrat Party involved the KKK. Again, they've been proponents of policies such as Jim Crow, segregation, etc., etc., etc. The Democrats have always been on the side of racism in this country. And this is why nobody should be surprised when Democrats put forth policies that overtly discriminate against people based off race. Because again, that is the new woke progressivism, which really is just regressivism back to the glory days of the Democrat Party, Jim Crow, okay? Except it's just Jim Crow against whites. Republicans, on the other hand, they believe in equality, okay? They believe in treating people equally based off race, which according to the left now is racism, right? That's actually racism, which is treating people equally, okay? And if you come out here and to advocate that you want to treat people equally, Democrats can get mad and upset and say that you're not doing enough to fight racism by wanting to treat people equally, kind of similar to what Barack Obama did when he criticized Tim Scott, who's a Republican, a black Republican, for wanting to treat people equally. Take a look.
I'm not being cynical about Tim Scott individually. I am maybe suggesting that the rhetoric of can't we all get along, and the quotes you made about, from my speech in 2004 about there's a United States of America, that has to be undergirded with an honest accounting of our past and our present. And so if a Republican who may even be sincere in saying, I want us all to live together, doesn't have a plan for how do we address crippling generational poverty that is a consequence of hundreds of years of racism in the society, and we need to do something about that. If that candidate is not willing to acknowledge that, again and again, we've seen discrimination in everything from getting a job to buying a house to how the criminal justice system operates. And so that somebody who does the exact same offense, the kind of sentencing, the likelihood that they do jail time is going to be different based on their race. If somebody's not proposing, not both acknowledging and proposing elements that say, no, we can't just ignore all that and pretend as if everything's equal and fair. We actually have to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. If they're not doing that, then I think people are rightly skeptical.
He missed a softball moving at slow speed with a big bat. You can't miss this opportunity. And I will tell you, The one thing the far left does not want a black person to be in this country is a conservative. It is possible for America to come together, but not because of the color of our skin, but because of the consistency of our value system.
Yeah, so here we have Barack Obama, who was the first half-black president of the United States, who had basically mostly white people vote for him, okay? I mean, he won because of white people, telling black people that, hey, you're poor and that you're not in a position like me, a successful half-black man, because of racism, okay? And we must be more racist in order to solve racism. We must treat people differently based off their race in order to fix racism. Okay, you got to use racism to fix racism. Okay, we've heard this before. It's called being anti-racist, aka racist against whites, right? That's what it's called. Now, this is a radically different message than what Obama put out in 2007. Okay, when we lived in much different times, and it really should show you guys exactly how progressivism is actually regressivism. Obama back in 2007 was talking like Tim Scott, right? And 15 years in the future, fast forward 15, 16, 17 years, again, he's talking like a Klan leader, right? Joe Biden, back in 2007, he was staunchly opposed to gay marriage. Now, Joe Biden thinks that kids should get transgender surgeries, right? Again, progressivism is simply just regressivism in disguise, okay? The true progressives really nowadays are conservatives when you talk about the actual definition of progression on race and equality in this country. So that brings me to this story right here about a California Democrat accusing a Muslim colleague of white supremacy for not backing a racist law, right? Again, it's just hilarious how backwards this world is. So I want to talk about this story because, again, this is a classic story of Democrats crying racism because they can't be racist. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel and you want to support my channel, you can check out my new merch. For example, my signature racist mug, which is a daily reminder of the 2023 definition of racist according to the left, which is anybody who disagrees with the Democrat Party. You can check that out at my merch shop, gforemanbcp.com. You can get 20% off using discount code TEAMBCP. So without further ado, let's get into this. A California Democratic lawmaker accused his Republican colleague, the state assembly's first Muslim member, of white supremacy for declining to back a bill that would allow state funds to go toward programs based on race, in which critics are calling state-sanctioned discrimination. Democratic Assembly member Corey Jackson, who proposed ACA 7, said it's meant to address, quote, persistent disparities in health, education, and economic outcomes for certain communities in California. Jackson's bill would amend the state constitution in order to allow taxpayer money to fund, quote, culturally specific programs in any industry if those programs are established or otherwise implemented by the state for purposes of increasing the life expectancy of, improving educational outcomes for, or lifting out of poverty-specific groups based on race, color, ethnicity, national origin, or marginalized gender, sexes, or sexual orientations. Yeah, so what you just read there is basically a hat off or a hood off moment for the Democrats, okay, where they're showing you their Klan origins here, where they're straight up advocating for policies and opportunities to discriminate based off race, right? They're literally saying we want to be able to allocate taxpayer money based off race, okay? But again, they want to do that if the purpose is to increase life expectancy or improve educational outcomes or to lift people out of poverty, okay? So they're saying, look, we want the right to, again, be able to discriminate based off race. We want to be able to say, hey, we want to give this group of people money because they're black, because they're Latino, because they're Asian, whatever, but we don't want to be able to give it to whites, okay? Because we know that they're not doing this for whites, okay? They're not doing this for whites. But it would be fascinating to see if, you know, a politician decided to say, hey, let's dole out some money to pull white people out of poverty. I wonder how woke Democrats, like, for example, this Democrat right here, Corey Jackson, who sponsored this bill, would feel about this, right? I'm pretty sure he probably would not support that, okay? As this guy got upset when a Republican by the name of Bill S. Lee, who is the Muslim, that confronted him about the fact that this bill is racist and it does not treat people equally. And I want to show you guys that exchange. Take a look.
All right. Well, I appreciate your perspective. I just fundamentally disagree.
Not a perspective. This is a fact. So let's not get it twisted here. This is a fact. There is no opinion that I am exercising. This is not something that that I am willing to engage in a cultural narrative over. The fact is that this is the right thing to do. There are a number of interventions that cannot be used right now that is proven to save lives.
I appreciate your comments. I respectfully disagree. I think 57% of Californians disagree.
But you're wrong.
Oh, excuse me. I'd like to finish speaking. 57% of Californians disagree who approved Prop 209. I believe it is a mistake in the United States of America to go backwards and to inject race into government policy. I think all people are created equal, and the government should treat people equally, and we can provide services to disadvantaged communities without making race a factor. And I support that. I think everyone should have an equal opportunity in the United States. I am a minority. I came from a minority background, and I don't want the government to treat me differently than anyone else. I want to be treated equally. And so with that, I respect your viewpoint, but I respectfully disagree. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, so apparently, according to woke Corey Jackson, that viewpoint, which in my opinion, 15 years ago, right, was the same viewpoint of Barack Obama, apparently is white supremacy, okay? He's saying that a minority became a white supremacist because he has a different viewpoint than him. Again, racist mugs with the 2023 definition of racist, which is anybody who disagrees with Democrats, available at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code TEAMBCP, okay? Because apparently that is the definition of racist, okay, in 2023. This guy, Corey A. Jackson, says, this is a perfect example how a minority can become a white supremacist by doing everything possible to win white supremacist and fascist affection. Now, I'm not sure if I read that wrong or his grammar's just poor, but I think he's calling this guy a white supremacist, right? That's what it sounds like. Even though this guy is Muslim, he's a white supremacist. History will judge him poorly. His politics is dangerous and should be combated at every turn. Hashtag anti-racism. I think what he meant to say is that his politics are dangerous. This guy has a PhD, right? Again, I hope this is not him writing his tweets. Or maybe, just maybe, he has the same type of PhD that Dr. Rashard Ritchie has, which is a fake one, okay? But, yeah, as you guys see here, once again, we have a Democrat calling a colleague racist because they don't want to go along with racist Democrat proposals. Again, it really blows my mind that this is the type of world that we're living in here. Okay, this guy basically says, look, I don't want to be treated differently. I don't want to give out taxpayer money based off race. I don't want to discriminate based off race, which I think is blatantly unconstitutional. Well, we know it is in California because, again, this is a constitutional amendment. Okay, so they got to amend the Constitution of the state of California to allow state-sanctioned racism. Again, effectively turning the state back into a Jim Crow state, right? Where, again, you have the government playing favorites when it comes to race. It's truly amazing. It really is amazing that the people that claim to be fighting against racism are the most racist people in society, okay? Like, the same people that claim to be fighting for tolerance are the most intolerant people. It's just funny how that works. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.